You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, my favorite podcast, New Zealand's favorite podcast, and the favorite podcast among redneck males aged 18 to 27, Earth Oddity. We're glad you can join us today. My name's John. I'm here with the brains behind the whole operation, Christopher Tiny Sullivan. How are you today?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing good.
That's awesome. We got some great stories to bring you today. I got several really good ones. Got a guy who shot himself in his tender parts. That's pretty good.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does. Not to me, but to other people.
No.
Yeah.
It's almost natural selection just playing out before our very eyes.
As we heard in Sunday school this morning, that's called pulling a boner. Our Sunday school teacher had a bad choice of words there.
Did.
Yeah, so that's pulling a boner right there. And I don't even feel like that's dirty because it was said in church, you know. So,
yeah, I thought it was something totally different.
Me too.
But it's,
Me too.
Pulling a boner.
Pulling a boner.
Doing something dumb.
Doing a dumb act. Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up thinking that was totally something different. So what about you? You got any great stories?
Man, I've got some good stories. I've got a spider scare, but I would kind of like to lead off with this story.
Okay.
And I don't actually have a story here in front of me that I'm reading from. I'm kind of speaking from memory.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. So forgive me if I get something wrong, but Apple is set to totally get out of the podcasting space. Did you see that?
No. Wow.
They're like the largest.
Right. Is like Spotify?
They started it, yeah.
Yeah, a Spotify, or is it that we came along on board and I've crashed yet another organization?
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, it says here that Apple is set to scrap its podcasting app. They are planning to completely pull out of the podcasting space altogether.
Wow.
It sounds good on the surface. The entire podcasting world is moving toward an all-you-can-eat type platform. It's the perfect new paradigm to help bring more digital content to the masses. But if you think this move is just a blip, a temporary break for new content to fill the void left by Apple dropping its podcast, you missed a huge problem. Oh. Even in the absence of a proper podcaster and podcasting app, this move will put the entire podcasting world in the hands of a handful of mega-sized corporations.
Oh, the corporations.
If you're like me and have no idea what iOS and Mac platforms are, or when to use them, you might assume that Apple is just playing with the wrong kind of information. They're doing the same old, same old. You don't need to know iOS or the Mac. You just need to be willing to get a pair of headphones and get some practice using them.
Okay.
So there we go.
All right. I don't know what all that means.
Yeah.
But I'm amazed that Apple is doing away with their podcast platform. I don't know how I will listen to Earth Oddity now.
I know. I want to say 90% of, there's still a lot of people who are using Apple's program, but can you believe that?
I can't believe it.
I'm glad you don't believe that because that is completely false.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
That's fake. Well, you fooled me. You fooled me, Tiny, you trickster.
Here is the real story. Have you ever heard of OpenAI?
Well, I know what AI is.
Yes.
Yeah.
OpenAI is a developer that was founded by Elon Musk and this other guy, I can't think of his name, but they got all these computer programmers and they put them in a room and they have them working on artificial intelligence.
Uh-huh.
And they make everything public. Everything they do is available to the masses.
Right.
And the reason that he's doing this is because Elon Musk is afraid that there may be a company out there that gets the edge when it comes to AI and have like an unfair monopoly over all this stuff. So he's researching it and just putting it out there for everybody.
Okay.
Well, they came up with a program called GPT-2, and it's basically a souped up line of code for, you know how when you're texting somebody and your phone tries to guess which word you're going to use next?
Yeah.
Well,
Deidre had a very embarrassing moment with that. Last night, went to my friend's. His father passed away. We went to the funeral home. Deidre sent her mom a message because we were there, like last people to go through, and it said the message was supposed to say, "We shut the funeral home down," but it changed "shut" to an entirely different word. And, yeah. Well, anyway, sorry.
Anyway, basically, this program, this GPT-2, you can give it just a sentence or two, and it will go from there.
Yeah.
It will auto-generate.
Oh, wow.
All this text. They fed, I want to say, 8 million different websites into this, said, computer program, look at all these websites and figure out how human language works.
And this is what it came with.
And this is what it is.
So what was your original sentence or sentences you started with?
If you go to talktotransformer.com, it's a website that somebody set up to kind of let you play around with it. I typed into this custom prompt box, Apple is set to scrap its podcasting app. They're planning to completely pull out of the podcasting space altogether.
And it came up with all that other dialogue.
It came up with everything else.
It's amazing.
It is incredible, and it's kind of scary.
Wow. Next time we got a book report or something. Yes. That's coming in handy.
Because obviously, if you go back and you listen to everything I read, there's some stuff in there that kind of don't make 100% sense. But for a computer that's going off 2 sentences, that's really incredible.
Yeah, it's really pretty good.
And also, and here's something that's even neater. This website uses an older version of their code. The latest version of their code that they've come out with, this is the first time they haven't released this to the public. Oh. Because they're afraid that some people may get hold of this and use this as, well, what I just did, a fake news generator.
A whole fake news.
Yeah. And they're saying
that's pretty much CNN right now.
they're saying it's advanced enough that people are going to quickly get to the point, if not with this latest version they have now, that they can't tell the difference between real news and just an AI writing a bunch of stuff. So it's
according to my Facebook, people can't tell between real news and fake news already.
Well, imagine it.
We don't
even
need an
worse.
AI program. Either I'm friends with a lot of dummies, or people are just easily duped. Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
It is.
I mean, it's all a little bit over my head because I'm not a nerd. But it's pretty neat that you could just start out with something so simple and come up with a pretty complex paragraph. I'm glad Apple's not doing away with podcasting.
They're not.
Yeah. Just again, before people freak out who are listening to us. No, there is still going to be there. We're still there. Yeah. But I, for a moment, thought that we had brought them down. Like, they were like, well, this Earth Oddity is gaining momentum. We got to get out of this.
And Elon Musk is like, see, this is why I'm not putting it out there.
Yep, exactly. This is what's happening. Well, that's neat.
And you know what? There's going to be a link in the show notes. The website is talktotransformer.com. You can go there and you can check it out. Last week, I may or may not have had it writing some erotic fan fiction involving me and my wife.
Okay.
So,
all right. Great.
It's
How did
interesting.
That go? Can we get some snippets of those read?
Contact me after the show.
Okay. All right. Did
I warn you, it's hot.
Oh, yeah. Did you read any to her?
No.
Oh, okay. I would
This was too hot for Tara.
Too hot for Tara?
Yes.
Okay.
It may have involved some vocabulary that I just didn't know if I wanted to define what these words mean.
Well, your mother-in-law thinks butt's a cuss word, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you probably don't want to.
Exactly.
You probably don't want to be trotting out too many, crazy words, crazy terms, or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Don't want to send her to Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, no, that could be bad.
Yes.
That could be real bad. Well, this next story here, I want to dedicate to my good friend Brian Hume. Brian worked for me for years. Probably the most talented guitar player I've ever known in person. The guy was phenomenal, is phenomenal, I'm sure. Sent me a text message over this weekend and told me that he had found the podcast. I hadn't talked to him in years, just out of the blue. Sent me a text message that, hey, is this still John Long's number? And I was like, it is, unless you're the cops. But said he loved it. Said he had listened to 4 or 5 episodes. It was really great. But he could definitely tell the difference in production value from the early episodes to recently.
We've learned a little.
And we found a better place to record.
We
that
did.
helps out too. So anyways, I just wanted to say hey to Brian in case he listens to this one, because I think the world of Brian Hume. He was good
Brian?
enough. Yeah, he was good enough to let me learn a little bit of guitar from him and indulge me in my rock and roll fantasies for a while. And he was just a really quality human being. And this story made me think of him. All right. So the headline reads, "Man allegedly hiding drugs in backside accidentally shoots himself in testicles."
Was he going for his drugs and he accidentally got his gun?
We'll see. A bungling felon from Washington State made a series of blunders where he shot himself in the testicles and tried to hide the weapon, all while storing drugs in his anus, a report said Wednesday. Time out. This is going to be an inside joke for just me and you can cut it if you want to. We were riding by the gravel pit, Philip Gerganus's gravel pit on the way home from church today.
Yeah.
And Hudson was like, "Well, why don't they build something there?" I was like, "Well, that's Mr. Gerganus that we go to church's business. You know, he works in dirt." And Hudson was like, "Oh, Mr. Big Anus's." All right, time in. Back to here. Cameron Jeffrey Wilson, 27, was carrying a pistol in his front pocket while in his Kashmir, Washington apartment on April 5th when the firearm accidentally discharged and pierced his groin and thigh. Wilson, who is a 13-time convicted felon. Now, he's 27 years old and he's a 13-time convicted felon.
So he's been at it. Like, this is a career path for him.
That's
at this
right.
point.
He's made choices in life that he can't come back from. He told his girlfriend to dispose of the weapon before heading to the hospital, the paper said. And when the ex-con finally got to the hospital, a balloon of marijuana slipped out of his anus.
Oh, no.
While a doctor was operating on the gunshot wound, court records show.
Hey, what's this?
Cops also arrived at the hospital when alerted of the gunshot wound and searched Wilson's car, where they discovered a bag of meth in the blood-stained jeans he was wearing when he shot himself.
Did he just forget about that?
I guess so. You know, like if you shoot yourself in the balls, I think... Like your whole line of thinking is like, I need to get some help here. Yeah. The officers,
for future criminals, maybe you should get a friend to drive you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's going to be tough working the pedal. I hope he wasn't driving a 5-speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says the officers issued an arrest warrant for Wilson and he turned himself into the police on the 18th. As he was being processed at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center, Wilson was strip searched, pretty standard, and another balloon of marijuana slipped from his anus, the paper said. Why is he hiding weed up his butt, you know?
Well,
he's in Washington. Like, isn't weed legal out there? I mean, it ain't like
I don't know.
I don't know if it is or not,
be.
but it's not like it's Alabama. You know, I imagine they got it pretty relaxed.
We just recently got CBD oil.
That's right, yes. While in jail, Wilson made a number of calls to his girlfriend and asked her not to cooperate with investigators working on his case. And authorities, of course, were listening in on the calls.
Of course, because that's what they do, yeah.
The convicted felon was charged with possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of meth, possession of a controlled substance in a correctional facility, and 4 counts of tampering with a witness. And he's held on bail on a $110,000 bail.
Man.
Yeah, so this dude, just a comedy of errors, really.
Yeah.
But I think if I was a judge, I would be like, well, you shot yourself in the nuts. Let's just call it even on this one. You know? Yeah. That's punishment enough right there.
What kind of advice could we give for future?
Number one, trigger discipline. Yes. You know?
You maybe don't go with Uncle Mike's. Use a good holster.
Yeah, right. Yes. Want to get a good holster. Maybe go on your hip with it, too. Not just straight right in the front, too.
Yeah.
But
I believe they call that Mexican carry.
Is that?
Which is a horrible term for that.
Is it? I don't know.
But this is just in the pants, in the back of the pants.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So...
Maybe is that the back, like Magnum PI style?
I believe so.
The straight back.
Yes.
That's Mexican carry.
I have heard it referred to as that.
Let me just say, if he shot himself in the nuts from the backside, That's cool. I mean, well, I mean, I'm an old man, I know, but he was 27. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to him,
man.
But I just don't get the weed up the butt, you know.
I don't know.
And like meth in my jeans pocket. I got meth in my jeans pocket, but weed up my butt. I don't get it. You know, when you reverse
he should have had that. He should have had that the other way.
Yeah, I don't get it. But he's in some trouble. That's tampering with a witness is not cool at all, especially now they have you tape recorded on the phone doing it.
Yes.
I mean, Lee, I know they search everything. Like you write a letter, they'll read those and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to learn to write in code, of course. So, yeah. Not a good look for this guy.
No. And it's one of these things where, I like to try to fix people's problems even when it's unwanted.
Right. Or they're like on the other side of the country and will probably never download our podcast.
But there's really not a lot here I can say other than, don't break the law.
Right. Don't break the law.
Number one, quit breaking the law. And number two, if you are going to break the law, maybe be a little smarter than you were.
Don't just have a round chambered up.
Exactly.
If you're in your apartment, it wasn't like he was out or anything.
Yeah.
You're sitting at home. All right.
I can say this. If you ever do drop a gun or drop a knife, don't reach for it. Let it hit the ground.
Right, let it hit the ground.
Let it hit the ground. There's a lot of people who have, cut themselves or shot themselves in the balls downstairs because they reached for a gun and you just let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. And I would also say don't try to catch a bullet with your balls.
Yes.
Not a good move. Not very smart. I don't consider balls to be like I consider that to be a medical term, by the way, just for our listeners.
Right.
Like when I talk to my boys and stuff, which really one of the greatest moments ever as a parent is, Deidre is like NICU nurse. She knew everything about babies. She carried the babies. They're like live inside of her and all that for 9 months.
Right.
Well, then Thomas gets here, first child.
Right.
And he gets home, and she's giving him a little bath, and there's like little baby, like whatever that thing you put him in, and she's washing his private part. I'm like, look, babe, back up. You don't know how to wash balls. Like you don't know what you're doing here. Let Dad step in and show you how we need to do this. All right. Hey, you're dealing with parts you don't know anything about, baby. This is all me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations, Thomas. Just told everyone I used to wash your balls. I'm going to play this at your middle school graduation.
All right. Well, let's see. How about another story here? Washington, speaking of Washington.
Well, a lot of stories from the Pacific Northwest.
They have become the first state to legalize human composting.
Okay. All right. So just put old Pawpaw in the composting pile, I guess.
I guess so. It says that on Tuesday, Governor Jay Inslee signed SB 501 concerning human remains, making Washington the first state in the U.S. to legalize human composting. Okay. The law, which takes effect on May 1st, 2020, recognizes, quote, natural organic reduction and alkaline hydrolysis, sometimes called liquid cremation, as acceptable means of disposition for human bodies. Until now, Washington Code had permitted only burial and cremation. The bill had passed both legislative chambers with ample bipartisan majorities, 80-16 in the House and 38-11 in the Senate. This paves the way for Recompose, a project to build the first human organic reduction funeral home in the country. Washington already has several green cemeteries, such as White Eagle Memorial Preserve in Clicktat County.
No, it sounds right.
Where people can be buried without embalming caskets or headstones.
Oh.
The Recompose model is more like an urban crematorium, but using the slower, less carbon-intensive means of organic reduction or composting. The process, which involves using wood chips, straw, and other materials, takes about 4 weeks and is related to methods of livestock composting that ranchers and farmers have been using for several years. Lynn Carpenter Boggs, a soil scientist at Washington State University, says that the practice can turn a 1,500-pound steer, bones and all, into clean, odorless soil in a matter of months.
Okay.
Designer Katrina Spade started the endeavor as a nonprofit called the Urban Death Project back in 2014.
Urban Death Project? That's a great band name.
It's a good band name.
I know.
Over the years, Spade has assembled a board of volunteer advisors, including scientists, attorneys, and death care professionals, then converted it into a small business model called Recompose.
All right.
It basically just goes on and talks about her business that she's trying to start.
She's saving the planet.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to go on record right now while you're looking.
Yeah.
I want all the chemicals in me when I die.
Oh, yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, everything. just pump me full of them. It's fine.
You know, I kind of want a Viking funeral.
Okay.
Load me up on a raft and push me out into the ocean
shoot
and
a
shoot a flaming arrow into me.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool. I mean, but I don't want it. But I mean, to go to.
Right.
You know, if you let me shoot the arrow. That'd be
Well, I want
pretty
everybody
awesome.
to get to shoot an arrow.
No, I want to be the only one. And then I'll miss like 30 times in a row.
How many arrows you going to go through before you hand it over to the professional?
I will say I taught archery. I was shooting sports director at Boy Scout camp. I taught archery. I had to go get certified. You got to be certified to teach children how to use.
They certify people for archery
Yeah.
Okay.
And handguns, rifles, and shotguns. I took all of that.
Okay.
At camp school is what they call that. I was the #1 archery shot out of everyone there. All right.
Well, you know what? Hey,
Now
hush my mouth. I had no idea.
That was 21-year-old John. You know, right? Haven't shot a bow in probably 20 years. So
Yeah, I kind of want to go get a bow right now.
let's see what I can do with it. Well, if I was like splitting
end the
arrows,
podcast.
wow, you know,
Yeah.
it's like I was having natural talent for it. Yeah, but I would do it, and I think it would be great if I missed like 15 or 20 times. Everybody's like getting anxious. You like keep drifting further and further out.
I want the crowd to be like, every time.
Like some dude in the back's like, why is this guy shooting? You know?
Yeah.
Like Brad's like, why did they let me shoot? You know?
Yes.
Finally, I just get in a canoe and roll out there with like a cigarette and like light you up.
Yeah.
Like, all right, guys, he's good to go. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to burying. I want my headstone. I want all that. So
Okay.
I want somewhere for people to come back and cry about how wonderful I was, and you know, really, this is not what's going to happen. They'll just visit me once a year to put some fresh flowers on it, like we do, like everybody else does. But yeah, I need all that.
So yeah, that's the end of the story. I'm not going to go into all this other stuff that we don't care about.
Yeah.
It's all about Recompose after that. So,
Okay, it's just it's saving the world
yeah.
with dead people.
Another option.
Right.
We have traditional burial.
Yeah.
We have cremation. We now have green burial, where we bury you without the chemicals.
Yeah. I
And
thought
now
you could
you
do
can-
like it a part of a tree too. You know, Did we
yeah.
that's how you get a ghost forest. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we didn't talk about it on the podcast. I do think we did talk
Yeah.
about that, where you can.
Yeah, you could be part of like a root system for a tree.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Did they put like a bunch of seeds in you or something, and
I
then
don't
bury
know.
you, and then
I don't know.
the tree feeds off of you?
I'm chock full of sunflower seeds as it is. It's like,
What if we bury John and come back a year and it's like a field of sunflowers?
sunflower like peanuts and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like all the cheap gas station food I eat all the time. Yes. Well, here's two men whose families may want to check into this green burial.
Okay.
This comes to us out of Louisiana. 2 Texas men die after attempting to jump over an open drawbridge. So the Duke boys are at it again. Louisiana State Police say 2 Texas men have died after attempting to jump an open drawbridge in Calcasio Parish. Everything's weird down in Louisiana. No normal names. Troopers say that around 2 a.m. on Friday, May 24th, they responded to a single vehicle crash on Louisiana Highway 384, which is Big Lake Road for everybody that's down there, at the Black Bayou Bridge around 6 miles south of Lake Charles. The crash claimed the lives of 2 Texas residents identified as 23-year-old Alejandro Cazares and 32-year-old Roberto Alejandro Marino. Troopers report that the drivers were traveling south when he came to a pontoon bridge that was closed to vehicular traffic to allow a boat to pass on the Intercoastal Waterway. Intercoastal Waterway, if you didn't know, pretty much runs from like the edge of Texas all the way up the East Coast. You know,
Right.
they did it during World War II to help protect shipping lanes for, all that. Anyways, if you go to the beach, you drive over it. But according to a witness, the passenger exited the vehicle and pushed the gate arm up, and the driver drove under the gate and picked up the passenger before proceeding towards the ramp located at the end of the bridge. After stopping briefly, the driver placed the vehicle in reverse. Now, when they stop, they're like, you think you can make it?
Yes.
You think we can make it? And it's like, yeah, well, I got it. I got this.
And there's probably one nerd in the back who's trying to actually do the math, on his phone.
So the driver placed the vehicle in reverse, then accelerated forward in an attempt to jump the ramp of the bridge. And the vehicle became airborne, landed in the waterway, and sank to the bottom.
Oh, no.
The driver was unable to exit the vehicle, and the passenger was located outside of the submerged vehicle. Both were pronounced dead at the scene.
Ah, yikes.
The crash remains under investigation.
How far did they fall?
I don't know.
Because, you would think, I realize that people can sometimes get trapped in a vehicle when a vehicle goes in the water. That's why everybody should carry a glass breaker in their car.
Oh, yeah?
And a seatbelt cutter.
I never do. I live on the edge, man.
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas this year.
Please don't. Please don't. Look, like I said this morning, I can't justify killing myself morally or ethically. But if the Lord decides to take me out when I jump a drawbridge, then the Lord just decides to take me out when I jump a drawbridge. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I barely like being alive. All right. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how, I imagine it was pretty deep water.
Yeah.
And who knows if when they hit the water, they bumped their head or something or whatever. I would imagine if you're jumping a drawbridge, probably don't have your seatbelt on,
Maybe you think those airbags may have deployed. And
Yeah, may have. Those things come out with some force.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It's just bad for these guys. But then again, stupid is as stupid does.
Play stupid games,
yeah.
you win stupid prizes.
Well, without risk, there is no reward. And if they'd have made it across, it would have been really awesome.
It would have been a great story.
Yeah, I guarantee you one of them was filming with his cell phone. I guarantee you.
Oh, man.
That would have been some pretty great footage.
You know what? I'm going to go check Lively real quick.
It's probably already up there. But yeah, these guys probably not the swiftest. I would imagine probably had a few beers in them too. Probably had a few beers in them. Decided to jump over the drawbridge. Didn't work out the way they wanted it to.
No, I didn't.
But that's how life is. Sometimes you make the jump. Sometimes you don't. It's just the way it goes.
I'm sad that they lost their lives.
Sure.
Because
it's always tragic when people die, but sometimes they deserve to die.
Well, you think you try to jump an intercoastal waterway,
right?
You think the worst that happens is because even if they would have made the jump, I imagine that whatever car that they're in is not driving much further.
Right? Broke both axles.
Yes.
True,
but
it's tough. But sometimes, like I say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
True.
And they decided to do this of their own volition.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out well for them. But had it have worked out, that would have been really awesome. That's a lifetime story right there.
It sounds like something I would try, too. No, it doesn't sound like something I would try in my own car. But somebody else's.
Right.
I guess here moving forward, I should write that down. Don't try to jump any drawbridges.
Depends. You can't ride it totally off. Like, what if it's just like a 4-foot space or whatever?
Yeah.
I would try that in my car. Yeah.
I have jumped from boxcar to boxcar on a
moving train.
No, a train that was steel.
I walked across the train trestle that goes across the Black Warrior before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet that was scary.
It was until you realize, like, even though there's spaces between the cross ties, that your whole body won't fit through them. Now, you may break your ankle and have to crawl if a train comes, but once you realize, like, hey, I can't really fall off of this, it wasn't so bad. It was at night, and then this barge, I don't know if it was spotlighting us or spotlighting the piers on the bridge, but it felt like it was spotlighting us, and I was like, oh, the cops are going to come, and that's going to be real bad, but it didn't.
Did you get any pictures?
No. This was like, I was probably 15.
Okay, so this is long before.
This is me and my cousin Judd.
This was back in the day when if you wanted a picture, you had to go to the store, you had to buy some film.
Right, wait a week to get it developed.
Stick it in the camera. And you had to take all the pictures.
Right.
You couldn't just take a few.
Yeah.
Then you had to drop it off at the photo booth.
Right.
And you come back in a week and get them.
Yeah. It was me and my cousin Judd. I don't know if Judd listens or not. Judd's 2 years older than me and really great dude. Really kind of stepped in after my brother passed away and kind of gave me a big brother too.
Right.
I think he was with a girl that he was dating and like one of her friends. And so, I'm like 14 or 15. They're like 16 or 17.
Right.
So I thought I was super cool.
Yeah, because you're hanging out with the big kids.
Definitely grabbed the girl's butt while we were out on the bridge, too. Totally shouldn't do that, by the way. But, I mean, you got to take your chances when you can. Shoot your shots.
That's sexual assault, John.
It is. It definitely is. Wherever she is, I apologize now. Having the father of 2 daughters now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, yeah, we walked across the bridge. One of my all-time memories. So,
Cool.
Every time I ride across the downtown bridge, I look over at it. I'm like, man, I've been on that bridge before, which is not that uncommon. I think people from Tuscaloosa do it a lot. But maybe me and you should do it sometime.
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
We should
get locked up for doing it?
We should bring the recorder and record a podcast up there.
Like wind just blowing, train coming.
Yeah.
What if we get locked up like 2 adult men, get locked up for walking on the train trestle?
I'd have some splaining to do.
Yeah. I don't know that Deidre would be that shocked.
Tara would be like, well, you deserve to sit there for a while. But when I finally did get up, I don't think they would lock me up for life for walking on the trestle.
Tara would be like, this is why I don't go walking on the train trestle.
Exactly. Our next story here. A Connecticut fugitive says that he'll surrender if 15,000 people like his wanted poster on Facebook.
Okay.
So,
talk about clout chasing.
Dude, he's getting desperate.
Yeah.
A Connecticut police department says that a fugitive has agreed to surrender if enough people respond to an online wanted poster on social media. Torrington police say that 29-year-old Jose Sims, who is believed to be somewhere in New York, has 7 arrest warrants and is being sought as a fugitive because he failed to show up for a court appearance. Lieutenant Brett Johnson posted on the department's Facebook page on Wednesday that Sims had contacted him through Facebook and agreed to turn himself in if the social post containing his poster gets 15,000 likes. Which, on the surface, it sounds like that was just his way of blowing off the detective. Like, yeah, I'll turn myself in as soon as I get 15,000 likes on Facebook. Anyway, Johnson says that he tried to get Sims to agree to 10,000 likes. So he's haggling with him.
Right. Let's settle in at 12.5.
But Sims wanted 20,000, and he said that they'd split the difference.
Art of the deal, baby.
Yeah. He's playing hardball.
You got to set your anchor point high.
On Wednesday evening, the Facebook post eclipsed 15,000 likes, but Sims has yet to turn himself in.
All right.
Which, again, that tells me he was just messing with the cops here. I don't think he was being serious.
Well, look, you 15,000 people who like that. I don't like
y'all got played.
Yeah. Come on, man. Just let the dude go free.
Says that the lieutenant described the challenge as difficult but doable. He also suggested that if anyone knows where Sims is hiding, that they could let police know and save the department some suspense. So
he's Canadian, but he's in New York. They think he's in New York.
Yeah.
But this is like a Canadian.
No, I mean, it's a Connecticut, sorry.
Oh, Connecticut.
It's a Connecticut fugitive.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood. Dang. I was like, that's a Canadian police move. It's like, yeah, no, buddy, just get as many likes as you need and then come on into the office and everything will be okay. We'll have pancakes and syrup and all that. Well, I don't know what you can do, if you're looking for a guy.
You just got to do old-fashioned police work.
I guess
you got to contact everybody he knows and ask if they've
I bet you
seen him lately.
When he does turn himself in, he's going to, like, quote-unquote, fall down the stairs or whatever. Like his mugshot, he's all beat up in and everything.
Because it's really funny now, but there may come a time when he's like, you know what, I really wish I hadn't let him on like that.
Well, there's one thing I know about the police is they don't like to be showed up. I mean, they really hate that. Especially
when this cop here has kind of gone out on a limb and promoted this Facebook post thinking that he was actually going to do what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, no. Yeah, cops just don't like you to show them up.
I know. Cops do not like to look stupid.
No,
and
not at
he
all.
has done a really good job of making them look pretty dumb
Yeah.
right now. I was going to say, I went to high school with a guy who got a speeding ticket. Well, he got several speeding tickets, and he had to go to court for this one.
Yeah.
He was going, I want to say it was something like 80 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that'll do it.
And the judge asked him, he says, Mr. So-and-so, I'm not going to give his name, what do you think you were doing or going 80 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone? And he said speeding. And he said that judge took him back into his chambers and just like reamed him a new one, making him look dumb in his courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that point you're like, I'm not getting out of this. So
No,
what's
no.
the point of like putting on airs or something? Yeah, I don't know. I was at a concert one time. I was in the parking lot. I was wearing overalls with no T-shirt. Had several drinks and no telling what else. The police come through and start checking IDs, and so everybody with us is over 21. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they finish up, turn around to walk off, and I just give them a "have a nice day," you know, like thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop like turned around and got in my face and was like, "I will take you to jail right now, young man." And I was like, "I'm just being polite, officer," you know. But I think he thought I was trying to like show him up because everybody was legal, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
None of us had anything on us that he could identify or find or whatever. So,
Right.
Yeah, but he got all up in my face, and I'm like, I can't go to jail in overalls with no shirt. I'm gonna die, you know. Like I will get killed. I'm just trying to be polite, you know.
Man.
All right. Well, anyways, here's another guy who's got some trouble. This is from Oregon, the Oregon Live. Forest Grove man stole daughter's cookie sale money to pay for erotic massage, prosecutors say.
Oh, no.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny Irons. Hate you made it in the news this week, man. It's tough. Been a tough run for you, dude. No, I'm kidding. This guy's name is Brian David Couture. A Forest Grove man stole $700 his daughter had earned selling Girl Scout cookies and used that money to finance an erotic massage and then staged a burglary at his home to cover up the theft.
Oh, so he took the money, but he tried to say that somebody else took it.
Yes.
And really, he spent it down at the massage parlor.
Yeah, he sent it down. Yeah, him and the guy that owns the Patriots probably hanging out together. Robert Kraft, that's his name. Brian David Couture was sentenced Monday to 18 months of probation and 80 hours of community service as restitution, according to the Washington County District Attorney's Office. He was also hit with a $100 fine. So he initially told authorities that someone had broken into his home and assaulted him. Officers found the home had been ransacked and saw blood strewn about.
Dang.
Couture had injured himself, and the blood was almost certainly his, said Deputy District Attorney Thomas Belsu. Couture's work laptop was also damaged. Didn't want to damage his personal one. And about $700 was missing from a jar holding his daughter's cookie earnings, according to prosecutors. Investigators found inconsistencies in his story and challenged it, and Couture eventually told police he stole the money to pay for a massage and then faked the robbery when he realized he couldn't explain the missing funds, according to prosecutors.
Huh.
So, I mean, just not a good move on his part.
Yeah.
Like, how do you sit down your daughter and go, honey, I took your cookie money. And she's like, what did you need it for, Daddy? Groceries?
Daddy's really stressed. Okay?
That's right.
Daddy's really been stressed lately.
That's right. Mom, you know, your mom's had a headache for so long. You know?
Your mom's had a headache for the last year.
Yeah, right. Your mom has had a headache for like 6 months. Okay, Daddy just wanted a massage. All right, that's all Daddy wanted was a massage. And I didn't have enough money, and I couldn't put it on the debit card without your mom getting another headache. So this is what I did, and I'm sorry, baby. You know you're my little angel, and I love you. And I'm proud of how hard you work selling all these cookies. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, he did exactly what every 13-year-old in the world did, and he allowed his privates to do more thinking than his brain did.
Yes.
You know, and what happened is he spent that money, and he was like, "Oh, we got to turn that money in at the meeting next week. What am I gonna do?" You know.
I will injure myself.
Yeah, I will fake a robbery.
Throw blood all over the place.
Right.
And tell the police that someone stole the money and my work computer.
Yeah, and well, they damaged his work.
They damaged his work computer.
They, quote unquote, they.
You know what? Maybe there was something on that computer that he didn't want getting found out.
Very true.
And so he's like, I'll just kill two birds with one stone
right.
here.
That's right. And maybe his Google search history wasn't too good. Yeah. Like massage parlors in Oregon or whatever.
He's like, and also while the crooks were here, while they were at it, they stole all my bills too. So I'm not going to have any bills to pay.
That's right. Yeah. You know, like I say, he was just had a weak moment here. took his daughter's money. Went and got his little jollies, and then was like, "Oh no, what am I gonna do?" But when the cops come back and go, "Hey, there's some inconsistencies in your story," like I don't know that you should ever go, "Well, oh, it's me, guys."
That's when you shut up,
right? That's when you go, "Well, I'm sorry, they knocked me over the head. Do you not see my blood laying around here everywhere? I'm sorry if I didn't get everything straight." You know, I don't know.
And the police are like, you look awfully relaxed.
Yeah, right.
To be sitting where you're sitting right now.
Yeah, right. You look super relaxed. Did you just doze off?
Are you smoking a cigarette? Are you smoking Who gave you a cigarette?
Yeah. You seem like you're just like super relaxed here. Is everything all right? Go through all this trauma. Maybe that was the inconsistency.
My brother-in-law, he was robbed last week, and he wasn't. He was all uptight after that happened.
He has trouble sleeping at night. So, anyways, wives of the world, let this be a lesson to you. Okay, just every once in a while, let's just throw a massage out there. You know what I mean, a massage, quote unquote massage. All right. Oh man, I wish Deidre would listen to this show.
Man, hey, Hudson. I'm wondering if I want to tell this story or not.
Oh, you definitely need to.
You know what? Since it's you, I'm just telling you. I'm not sharing this story with anybody else here listening to this. I may or may not have had a stepdad at one point in my life.
Okay.
Who made some charges on a credit card.
Nice.
At a hotel room.
Okay.
And when he was confronted about it, he said that his car was stolen. And when the card was reported stolen, he said, well, we don't need to do that because they probably won't use the card again.
I got you.
So, yeah.
I got you. Well,
guys are dumb.
Guys are real dumb.
They're really dumb sometimes.
We really are. And, like I've said, there comes a freedom. Like at a certain point in time, everything quits working, right?
Right.
And then as a man, that's where like pawpaws are so, just like peaceful and gentle and nothing bothers them in the world or anything. And, their wife gets mad at them. They just go out to the garage and piddle around for a few hours. They don't care. There's no repercussions or anything, And I feel like Viagra is a tool of the devil to keep men like enslaved for another, 10, 15 years past when they're supposed to be. All right. That's been my take for a while now.
Gotcha.
Because sooner or later I won't be thinking about it anymore. And I can focus on other things in life. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and my wife can actually have a real relationship.
Not a relationship where I'm on my best behavior 24/7.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Let's see. Our next story here is a spider scare leads a Georgia woman's van to rolling into a river.
Oh, nice.
It says,
are you afraid of spiders before we get into it?
I wouldn't say they're my favorite bugs, but I'm not terrified of them like a lot of people are.
Me either.
Like I have no problem. If there's a spider, I have no problem just catching it with my hand and tossing it out the door or something.
Yeah. Outside of it being a poisonous one,
Yeah, I don't want one crawling across my face.
Yeah.
But, I would say the same thing about a caterpillar,
Nothing worse than walking through a spider web, though. That's a really bad...
When I get that a lot because I'm a tall guy.
Right.
And when we go hiking, I get it. Don't matter how many people are in front of me. I'm going to get spider webs.
Yeah, that's bad.
A spider scare landed a woman's van in the river. An unidentified Georgia woman was backing her Kia van down a boat ramp to put her kayak in the river in Kingston, about 56 miles north of Atlanta on Sunday, when she was startled by an unwanted visitor. A spider suddenly jumped in her lap, according to a Georgia State press release. Frightened, the woman said that she jumped out of the vehicle without putting the vehicle in park. She's just, I'm going to dip out of here.
Right.
The van then rolled into the Etowah River, floated downstream a few feet, and then became totally submerged, the department said.
At least it's a Kia. She's only out like $8,000.
No. A boater in the area tried to find the van, but he couldn't. The woman's insurance company will try to get a dive team to locate and remove the van, authorities said.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm sure you need to remove it for like environmental reasons or whatever. You don't want
because there's gas in there. And
all that leaking into the river. But, I mean, if I was the insurance company, I was like, all right, yeah, we'll cut you a check. Forget we're not hiring a dive team and all that. I guess you got to do that. But I don't know. I mean, spiders don't scare me. When we moved to our first house out in North Wind, there was woods all around it, and around the eave of the house, or like where the siding met the foundation, there were so many black widows. I'm not kidding. I probably killed 25 or 30 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, when we first moved out there, they were just everywhere. And we had one of those Eddie Adams, who was our neighbor. We know Eddie. He used to go to church with us. He would find all kind of stuff. He worked out in the woods. He found this turtle sandbox thing, which was great. We filled it up with sand. Thomas would go out and play with it. But when I would take the lid off, there would invariably always be a black widow underneath it I'd have to kill, So it's like living on the edge of danger.
That's why this cursed sandbox was thrown into the woods to begin with.
Probably right. Yeah. But yeah, spiders don't scare me because I'm bigger than them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can kill any spider just if I see it.
Well, even the poisonous spiders, I mean, they can make you sick, but you're probably not going to die.
Yeah. Probably not.
You could. Yeah. But probably not.
Yeah, no, I know brown recluse really just rot you out. I don't know about a black widow. I don't know if I know anybody that's been bitten by a black widow. Right. But I surely wasn't, because I got shoes on and I'll just smash you into the side of the house. That's what I did with all of them.
I would say that the worst case scenario is you have an allergic reaction to the bug bite, and then that's what kills you.
Maybe so. I don't know. But I don't know that I would back my kayak. First of all, I'd probably just carry my kayak down the water. How heavy of a kayak did she have?
I don't know.
I
would just carry the Kia down the ramp.
Yeah, right. Just put the Kia on your back.
Things made out of aluminum.
Okay, so the last story I didn't give any kind of warning on it to our listeners, if they had any children in the van or whatever.
Okay.
This one definitely you need one for, okay? All right. I'll just say to kids, if you were listening to the previous story, erotic massage, this is like a Swedish variation of massage that your mom gets when dad buys her a gift certificate for Mother's Day. All right?
She better not be.
That's that's a standard gift for me, is a day at the spa or whatever for Deidre. Yeah. And I'm always like, when she gets home, I'm like, who gave you your massage? And she'd be like, oh, it's this guy named Tony or whatever. I'm like, She's like, it's no big deal. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a big deal to me.
I bet it was to him too.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so this comes to us from Britain. Shout out to Sadie. What's going on over there, Sadie, with your young men?
Across the pond.
Yes. The headline here is, and just like I say, kids, go ahead and tune out. Let's go ahead and watch.
We'll see you next week.
Ed, and Eddie or whatever for the rest of the day. Lad's hour-long sex session with metal pipe ends in him screaming for housemates.
Oh, no.
Oh, and it has the line here that I was talking about with the guy with his daughter's Girl Scout money. horny teenagers can often let desire overcome common sense. And I would just say,
not just teenagers.
I would just say that goes for any man. So if you needed any proof of that, look no further than the story of sex-starved 16-year-old in Johor, Malaysia. Okay, so it's not in Britain.
So
the article's just out of Britain. Who got himself in a serious pickle earlier this week. The
Is
lad,
that what they call pipes?
I think so. Well, it may be what they call what he was putting in the pipe. I don't know. The lad had spotted a metal pipe sticking out from a wall in his home that was conveniently at waist height.
Oh, no.
And boys being boys, he thought he'd try making sweet, sweet love to the cold and unyielding plumbing fitting. There's pictures that go along with this, by the way. He managed to get his penis into the alloy tube, but when it came time for the unlikely coupling to end, he found that getting it out was not so easily. The misguided teen tried to free himself for over an hour before finally shouting to his housemates for help. You know, he was like, I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to call anybody. Once the laughter had died down, his mates called the emergency services, and senior fire officer Cinnamon Adrius of the Tangkak Fire and Rescue Station said they received an emergency call from the victim's residence at around 10 p.m. on May 20th. And he said the metal pipe is about 6 inches in length with a thickness of 5 millimeters and is no longer used. The metal pipe is about 6 inches in length with a thickness of 5 millimeters and is no longer used, and the firemen had to cut the pipe first.
Oh, no.
The rescuers brought with them a metal cutting saw, which they used to manually cut the pipe, hoping to free the boy, but his penis remained wedged inside, forcing them to remove the whole length of pipe, which appeared to be around 30 millimeters wide. There you go. Just so you can see.
Okay. Quick question.
Yeah.
You're the dude holding the saw. Do you ask the dude, okay, can you tell me about how far down this pipe I need to cut?
Put your finger where the end is.
Bro, you do not want me to get this wrong, okay?
Yes. Footage from the hospital bed an hour later shows sparks flying and the boy writhing uncomfortably as medics and firemen use a circular saw to remove the pipe. Doctors from the Sultana Fatima Specialist Hospital and firemen finally extracted the lad's penis just before midnight. And medics recommend sealing off the pipe to prevent the incident from ever happening again.
Because, I mean, we don't want this to happen again, so we need to seal off this pipe.
That's right. The fire chief added this case was resolved with the expertise of the hospital and the victim was stable, and the incident caused his privates to be swollen, but that he only had minor injuries. So,
thank goodness.
I would just like to say, all right, I don't know a whole lot about your penis getting stuck in a pipe. I don't.
I've never
happened to me.
Never had that happen to me.
Never have. I've always been able to get mine out.
I've always been very careful where I've put that.
But I would say to his roommates, why not just throw a glass of ice water on it or something, before we call 911 or whatever.
It makes you wonder, how hard did he struggle to get in this
there, right? I don't know. Maybe he wasn't like fully grown when he started. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Like Tom Hanks in Big.
Yeah, right. Yes. Maybe that was the problem. I don't know. But I would just always say PVC is much better.
Says here when the teenager was asked for comment, he said, quote, still had sex.
That's right. That's right. But he's going to get made fun of for the next forever.
He's going to have to move.
You got to move out of Malaysia.
Yes, you can't be there.
No more.
You need to change your name.
Yep. But I don't know, man. I mean, if I was him, I'd just be like, hey, guys, I was laying pipe. I was like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? I was laying some pipe. Just laid the pipe.
Man.
But yeah, I mean.
Just call me the plumber.
Yeah, that's right. Tough luck for this guy. And because it said he struggled for an hour.
The last thing he wanted to do was ask for help.
That's right. He's probably just sitting in there like, oh my goodness.
He's like, please, God. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry for this. If you get me out of this, I will never screw a pipe ever again. And then you got to call your roommates. That's rough.
Man.
I would have probably called 911 before I called my roommates. I bet you couldn't reach the phone.
Well, what's your name? My name is Stan
like Rick Johnson.
Rusty Shackleford.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, tough luck for that guy right there. But, I mean, kudos for not having premarital sex. Let that be a lesson to everyone out there. Leave plumbing to the professionals. All right? People go to school for 2 years to learn how to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
to do that properly.
That's right. You just can't go in there all willy-nilly and expect not to get your ding-dong hung up. All right?
All right. Well, are we done with the news? Can we move on now?
No, I'm not, because I have some problems to bring up.
I got 99 problems.
Heard you had problems.
Houston, we've had a problem.
More money, more problems.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay.
For those of you new to the show, this is the segment of the show where we just take some time to point out everybody's flaws in their behavior.
Yeah, right.
And how they can, better convenience us.
Yeah.
Make things easier on us.
There's a few of them in here that I need to expound on.
Okay.
Just so you know. But,
perfect.
I'll just get started out here. Number one, people who take their time ordering at McDonald's. All right. McDonald's menu has not changed in forever. Okay. Every once in a while they bring the McRib back, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of decision making going on.
That's a good point. It's McDonald's. It's not Red Lobster.
Yeah, right. I mean, you should know what you want when you're walking in the door.
Yes.
I don't need to be hung up behind you for 5 minutes while you're deciding whether to get a double cheeseburger or a quarter pounder with cheese.
And then when you eventually do make it around to the window, it takes 15 minutes because they had to go find a fillet of fish that they never sell.
I put that on here too. I don't like drive-thrus. I would much rather go inside and get my food.
Okay,
yeah.
Will you respect that?
I don't have a problem with like drive-through workers or anything like that, or like not being able to hear at the box. It's just to me, just let me go inside. If I got to talk to something, I'd rather talk to a person. Okay, people who don't use blinkers, hate them. We need to take them out of society. People who park in the disabled spaces but don't have a limp. Like if you're parking in a
yes.
in a handicapped spot and I see you get out, you better be acting like you better be walking like something's wrong with you. Okay?
You're saying that according to John Long, it's not enough to have a handicap sticker,
right?
But you have to look like
right.
it.
Yeah, like I could possibly get a handicap sticker because of Hudson's heart. I'm sure we could get a doctor to get us whatever we need to get one. Mm-hmm. But Hudson can walk just fine. It's not going to hurt him to walk from 20 spaces back,
right?
But so I'm just saying. And I know people have disabilities. You can't always see them naked eye and everything, just like Hudson. But I expect you to have a limp. All right? All right. And so this goes hand in hand with that. Fat people on fatty carts in Walmart. All right?
You take that back.
All right, fat people. You don't have to get on a cart just because you're fat, okay? Well, let's walk around the store. People who dress up their pets, don't like that at all. I don't like, pets, God gave them the freedom of being naked, and here you are just putting clothes on them and being like, oh, little Buffy loves it when I put her Alabama jersey on it. And every dog I ever see in a picture looks like they hate it.
Our dog don't let us do that anymore.
Oh, yeah? People who are late. I don't like people who are late. I try to be punctual. Influencers, I hate all people who claim to be influencers on Instagram. I don't like it. I don't like greeting cards. Greeting cards are stupid. It's like, here is something because I couldn't come up with enough words to say. So I spent $2.50 on this. You're going to read it once and throw it away.
Real quick, I know this is your thing now.
No, go ahead.
I got in trouble this morning for doing a card wrong.
Oh, yeah?
It is.
I didn't know you could do a card wrong.
I didn't either. You can.
Okay.
There's somebody who we go to church with. It's their birthday is today. And
I
was giving them a birthday card. And I just wrote out, hey, happy birthday. I drew you a picture of a tornado. Here, check it out. Love, your mentor, Tiny. And then I drew a little tornado and a little guy saying, getting thrown around by the tornado, little stick figure.
Sure.
And my wife was not pleased. So
I'm sorry for having fun, Tara.
I told her, I was like, I'm sorry I know this is serious. I'm sorry for being glib about this. I'll try to do cards
I
properly.
know how serious
from
birthdays are.
Yes.
Okay, doorbells. I don't like doorbells. I
Just want to knock.
Yeah, I'm just a knock guy because I feel like I can knock at a level that you can hear me if you're home and awake, and if you can come get the door. But if you're taking a nap, a doorbell wakes you up.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. We're in favor of knockers.
Knocking, yeah. Negotiating with kids. That just comes out of personal. I hate negotiating with kids. The phrase, you need to watch this movie. Don't like that at all. Restaurant bathrooms that aren't labeled men and women, but have like cute pictures, it's got like a woman pirate or a man pirate. Yeah, I don't like those.
Or bucks and does.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That kind of thing.
Right. People who hate Mondays. Now, this is a rash on my Facebook feed of people who cannot stand Mondays for some reason, and I don't get it. Which goes along with my next one, people who hate their jobs. Or complain about their jobs on Facebook. I mean,
that's every job I have had. I have never worked with a job where I didn't work with people who complain.
Yeah, right. I'm just like, hey, just go find another job. Like, what's your deal? Why would you stay somewhere you hate?
Well, they're going to complain about that one.
Well, but then I don't have to deal with them.
That's a good point.
Kids holding signs for every life event. Okay, so that's like a first day of kindergarten. I just turned 7. So mom can take their picture. I don't like that. Don't like it at all. Using a debit card at the store. So I used to have cash all the time. Cash is great. Cash is king. But since I ran out of cash and lost my business, now my check's direct deposited. And so I have to use my debit card. So you insert your debit card, then you have to like hit a button that lets them know it's debit. Then you gotta like hit a button that the total's correct. And then you gotta like hit a button saying you don't want a car wash. And then you gotta like hit another button to type in your PIN. And then finally it runs your sale. Too many steps. Too many steps at all.
Use Apple Pay.
That's too fancy. All right. Here's one for this morning. Standing ovations. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of standing ovations. And if you'll notice, my family never stands up for standing ovations. Because, and maybe I'm just different. I know I'm different. I'm just a horrible person. But a standing ovation should be like something that you can't help but stand up.
Yeah.
And start clapping. The worst thing in the world to me, and if anybody's ever doing this for me, if like people start clapping for me and like one guy stands up and then everybody else is like, now this guy stood up, I gotta stand up. And then by the time it's over with, you're just like, that's not a real standing ovation. Nobody meant that. You can clap for me sitting down, it's cool. So
I was peer pressured into that.
That's exactly what most standing ovations are, is peer pressure.
Remember that time Kanye stopped one of his shows because this guy in a wheelchair wouldn't stand up for him?
Yes, so to everybody at church, I'm not a horrible person, but I'm not going to be peer pressured into a standing ovation.
My youth minister told me peer pressure was bad.
That's right. I don't even remember who we were clapping for this morning. Who were we clapping for?
Hey, it's not important.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't either then. Okay. Let's see. Big screens in church. I don't like the screen. I don't like the screen that we put all the lyrics on and stuff, because it has no notes. And so everybody's just singing the melody, and I don't like that. Why can't we put the notes on the screen?
Okay.
That's just my question. Teachers. All right, this is one I need to explain on. All right, teachers. Has there ever been a group of like an occupation that needs more pats on the back than teachers? They talk all the time about how hard their job is and how difficult their job is, and I don't doubt that it is. But we don't see the guy like in the coal mine going, I had such a rough day at work and all that. I'm just saying, back off a little bit. You get the same vacation as kids. You're fine. All right. So,
John, they're training the next generation.
I know. And you want to talk about like when their school year's out, and I get it. They're dealing with kids. I hate kids, so I understand. I don't really hate kids, but I hate kids. And so, like, when summer break hits, like, woo, summer break, you know, they're like posting pictures and blah, blah, you know, and I'm just like, hey, man, I don't do that when I go on vacation, you know, like, just suck it up like the rest of us. So teachers, I'm sorry, I had to go there, but I mean, like, you're just asking for too many pats on the back. And the last one, it's not a 3-day weekend. Okay, so every Memorial Day, 800 people on Facebook post various pictures to remind everyone that it's not just about a 3-day weekend, it's Memorial Day.
Right.
All right. Excellent sentiment. Excellent. I agree with them wholeheartedly. For the people who gave their lives for this country, totally appreciate what they did. What I don't need is 50,000 people posting memes on Facebook reminding me it's not about a 3-day weekend or barbecuing or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And this goes back to my previous one. Like, if you see something that's been shared like 12,000 times, you don't have to share it anymore. All right? So,
but there might be some people in your Facebook group who hasn't seen that post yet.
But that's the other thing. Like, we're all from Fayette, you know? Like, 99% of my friends are connected to me through Fayette, Alabama. All right? So we're all connected to each other.
Yeah.
And so we're all seeing the same stuff. You can just stop. You know, like, just think, hey, most of my friends on my friends list are from Fayette, and we have mutual friends with the same person who shared this, so I don't need to share it, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you'll get that post and it say this post was shared by this person, this person, this person,
Yes,
and this person.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Facebook, for at least trying to consolidate it so I only see it one time.
So we only see it one time. Just, I mean, hey.
Also, I'd like to point out to everybody that Labor Day, it's not just a 3-day weekend.
That's
you need
right.
to remember all those people who work in factories, making sure that your laptop works right or your car runs well.
Exactly. It's not a 3-day weekend. I mean, it's just too much, y'all. We get it, you know. I don't know if you make yourself feel better by posting that or whatever. I mean, I'm sure tomorrow instead of barbecuing, you're going to stand around and salute the flag all day or whatever. You know, you're not going to go to the lake fishing. You're just going to sit home and go put flags at the, you know, soldier cemetery or Arlington or whatever.
Right.
Anyways, so I'm sorry, teachers. I just want to apologize to teachers, but sometimes y'all are too much. Like, we don't have to give you so many pats on the back, okay?
Okay.
I mean, you chose your career path, not me. I'm not making you work there. You're like the people who hate their job. Just quit if you don't want to do it. Go do something else, all right?
Well, they don't want to do something else. They just want you to acknowledge how rough
great
they have it,
right?
And
well,
how
look,
much they're doing for you.
I did when I brought 37 glue sticks on the first day of school. You know?
Yeah.
I think some of those teachers sell like school supplies on the side. I did some.
Not to mention a box of tissues.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And a 9-pack of paper towels.
Exactly. I did some math on Hudson's class this year. When I dropped off, they would have had like 230 glue sticks for the whole year. And I'm like, somebody, like, what are we doing with glue sticks? You know?
Yeah.
Like, they don't need that. I mean, there's like 17 people in this class or something. If somebody's selling school supplies on eBay.
If I was a teacher, I'd slap down a $25 Amazon gift card. Your student needs to bring up
Oh, no, well, you got
a $25 Amazon gift card.
So you don't know that Eli's not in public school. You got to pay a classroom fee, too. That's just like a straight up, like, $20 check or whatever.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, I get it. They don't get enough funding for their stuff, and I could go all into how that's all messed up. And we need to fund the schools, and we need to figure out how to do that. I'm all for that, okay?
Right.
I'm all for it. But and I want teachers to make as much money as possible. I'd love for them to make $200,000 a year. I don't care, you know? I mean, just pay them whatever. That's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't stand around and ask for pats on the back all the time. That's all I'm saying. All right? Just don't do that, okay? It gets on my nerves.
All right, well,
we're no longer the #1 podcast among teachers.
John is not the only person with problems. We know everybody out there has problems. We're still accepting submissions.
Maybe we need to run a disclaimer, like the opinions expressed by John Long are not necessarily the opinions of Earth Oddity Podcast and its advertisers.
How about this? How about a little homework assignment? If you're listening to this out there and you're a teacher, please write in your list of problems that you have
with parents,
yeah. With your school, with your kids, whatever.
Right.
And we'll just make that a segment next week.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't want to get on it anymore.
Okay.
I'm hurting some feelings. I don't want to do that.
All right. How about some community news?
want to thank our sponsor, world famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, for their support. Check them out at CajunCurl.com. You can order the spice and their Cajun Curl cutters for potatoes right there on CajunCurl.com. It was created on the Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana. Some guys tried to jump over the drawbridge there this past week, and it's a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork, potatoes, strawberries, and anything else you can think of putting it on.
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that on their web. Let's just say, everybody check out their Facebook page.
It's crazy.
They're doing some pretty awesome stuff on it. The spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, it's easy to clean, and it will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you want to turn your next erotic massage event up a notch, imagine whipping up a batch of homemade potato chips. Your masseuse won't know what's going on. Probably not even going to have to pay him $700, which that's a lot of money for a massage. I didn't even think about that.
Well,
I don't know what the going rate is. For my wife, it was a new house. Anyways, let me tell you, the homemade chips with Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice on them will change your life. On their website, CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the original Bayou Blended Spice, but the Cajun Curl chip cutter as well. And you'll also find recipes that are absolutely mind-blowing, and you can locate your nearest retailer there or order your own. If your local grocer doesn't carry world-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking it today.
yes.
Here locally, it is available at Bowles Fresh Market on Skyland, South's Finest Meats over on Greensboro 35th, Piggly Wiggly on Early Wallace, and Mark's Mart in downtown Northport by the train trestle that you can get up on and walk across the bridge. All of their products are made in the USA, so not only do you enjoy the taste of Cajun Curl, but you remember that it's not just a 3-day weekend. And it's all natural, low salt, and it has a little kick to it, but it doesn't burn your lips. World famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. CajunCurl.com. Check them out and use our promo code EOP10. That's EOP and the number 10 to get a 10% discount on your order.
Because we ask that you use the spice, but we don't ask that you pay full price.
Nice.
All right, we got another review.
Nice.
Man, they are coming on.
That's really awesome.
This review comes from Deadpool Wilson.
Okay.
And-
Deadpool Wilson.
Rated 5 stars. The title, the second best podcast I've found, does the ... Unfortunately, I can't get the rest of the title on my phone, and I refuse to install iTunes on my laptop. So
Okay.
we'll just have to figure that out
It's
later.
like the second best podcast he's found, but okay.
... All right. I work at a scrapyard and am able to listen to podcasts while I'm at work for 11 hours a day. I stumbled across your podcast and I started at the first episode available right from the get-go. So apologies.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
I thought soon as I go on break from work, I'm deleting this, but then I forgot and got sucked into the podcast vortex. Somewhere between purgatory and the black hole in space, and here I am without an episode to listen to because I binged everything you have, LOL.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are like a Christian Dumb and Dumber. Mixed with a hint of Charles Stanley, but with a sense of elegance rarely achieved in the podcast airwaves.
Christian Dumb and Dumber mixed with Charles Stanley is pretty good.
I'm Lloyd, I call it. I'm Lloyd.
We need to use that as like a tagline, like Earth
Yes.
Oddity or Christian Dumb and Dumber.
With a hint of Charles Stanley.
With a hint, just a sprinkle of it.
When I'm at work wanting to just end it all and jump into a pile of scrap, or hoping a semi-hour loader would just run me over,
Man, this dude, I feel like we would get along great.
there you guys are making me laugh, and I fight to live one more day. Thank you for being there for me 66 hours a week. Sincerely, Jason from Mansfield, Ohio.
Okay.
Man, Jason, hang in there, buddy.
Right. Look, man, I know you deal with a lot at a scrapyard.
Yes.
You probably got meth heads bringing air conditioners in there all day long,
And I'm sure it's not air conditioned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm glad we can bring a little joy to your life. And you know, our friends in Ohio are great. Ohio are great.
Liar.
And we're glad that you listened to us. Just
Yes,
ask you to
thank
tell
you so
everybody
much.
else. You know,
Yeah.
Just tell one person. You know that you may think will enjoy it or will enjoy making fun of us.
And you can tell them, hey, it's like a Christian Dumb and Dumber.
That's right. And that we're kind of like an acquired taste. You know, you listen
Yeah.
to us for a while, and sooner or later you're like, hey, I kind of like these guys.
And tell your friends not to start at episode 1.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah,
Because
right.
those early episodes were,
Let's
we were
get
still
on-
figuring out
yeah.
what we were doing.
Let's get on into the 40s. You know?
Yes.
But yeah, man, I really appreciate it. And yeah, we're a lot like a stray dog. We're a little ugly. We're a little rough around the edges. But, you know, we show up at your back door. You feed us one time. You know, sooner or later, you're giving me and Tiny a bath, and you're listening to every episode. So,
Yeah.
so if you want to be one of the listeners who give us a bath, you know, so that's the thing. That's the service we offer. Just email the show, earthoddity@planetmail.net. And you too can bathe Tiny and I. It's a big tub we both have to get into.
It is.
It's a big tub.
You're going to need at least a 10-person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like a hot tub or something. Yeah. Right. I will be fully nude. Tiny wears a bathing suit. I am fully nude, just so you know.
And water shoes.
Can't get athlete's foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but no, really, thank you for your review.
Yes.
It does mean a lot. Everybody out there who's given us a review over the years, because I'm comfortable saying over the years.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. To everyone else who hasn't,
Be like Jason.
yeah, be like Jason. And just, I mean,
Be
it
like
takes-
Kimmy.
Yeah, be like Kimmy, right.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much time. You know, just type us out a little review. It's fine. I would like to hear how you would describe us. You can't
Yeah.
use Dumb and Dumber with a hint of Charles Stanley anymore.
Or you can just say whatever, and I will be forced to read it.
That's right.
As long as you can get it past Apple censors.
That's true.
So
That's true. Yeah, but, you know, thanks to everybody. I really appreciate all the listeners and the support we get. The show's growing, and from day one to now, we're way better.
we are.
I'm still waiting for Johnny to bring us our millions of listeners like he told us, but I'm assuming they're coming any day now. That's an inside joke. Sorry. I like to give Johnny a hard time, but he's a good dude.
Yes.
But yeah, just tell one person about the show and get them to download it.
Yeah.
Let them listen to a few episodes, and then they can tell one person, and we'll just keep growing exponentially throughout the years. And sooner or later, me and Tiny maybe can retire.
Yeah.
You know, when we're like 65 and we retire from our real jobs, maybe this will cover the fact that I don't have a retirement
Wouldn't you
plan.
love to have Earth Oddity every day?
Oh yeah.
You got to give us a reason to do this full time.
Some people may have answered that question with no. Yeah.
Well, hey, this is on demand. So for those of
right.
you who
That's
answer
true.
no, that's totally up to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But no, really, just tell people about the show. That's all we ask, you
Yeah.
know. And I feel like if we're giving an honest shot and somebody doesn't just turn us off because I sound like a backwoods redneck or sometimes say some offensive stuff, that once they learn to how we joke,
Yeah.
then they will enjoy it. You know,
Right.
that seems to be the experience with most people. You know, kind of like him.
Yes.
You know, like if he listens to,
He's like, I'm going to delete this.
Yeah.
But then, hey,
just-
66 hours later,
yeah, you get sucked in.
He's sucked in.
That's right. And you're part of the family now, and I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all you got to do.
And we'll come stay on your couch.
Right. And just as a caveat, if I made fun of something you do with my, problem segment, just know that I don't really care. If you're a teacher, I don't really care. I got to have something to put there.
We're just trying to be funny.
We're just trying to be funny.
Give
and
us-
failing a lot of times.
Well, you have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us no matter where you get us, whether you get us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn.
Yep.
We're on them all.
Everywhere.
If you would like to email the show, we are earthoddity@planmail.net. If you would like to tweet us, we're on Twitter. You can catch us at @_earthoddity.
We are.
If you like pictures, sometimes
post
we post pictures.
I'm getting back in the flow of it.
Sometimes,
I made a few.
Sometimes if I'll get off my lazy rear end, I'll even cut a little segment out
Yeah.
and post it, which I didn't do last week.
The Bigfoot one's still getting likes. Still getting likes.
You can check all that out _Earth Oddity over on Instagram.
That's right.
And if all that fails, but you still need to get in touch with us and you don't do any of that other stuff, you can call our phone number. What's
That's
that
right.
number?
It's 662-493-2059.
You can call in, you can leave us a bumper, you can tell us all your problems.
That's right.
You can tell us your problems with us.
Tell us your neighbor's
Whatever.
problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hope everyone out there has an excellent week. Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off.
Love y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Very Odd production. Thanks for listening.